Chapter 5: The Magic of Name Tags. A party without name tags is like a museum without labels for the paintings. You may think that name tags make events cold, bland, formal, or fake. I'm gonna convince you otherwise. Watch me. There's an illustration of a name tag, and the caption says, "Name tags make it impossible to forget someone's name." The big benefits. On a practical level, name tags make it nearly impossible for guests to forget each other's names. This reduces potential embarrassment. I'm not great with names myself, so I rely on name tags heavily as a host. Name tags also boosts your guests' confidence because they reduce social anxiety and make introductions easier, show that this is a safe opportunity to approach strangers, place everyone on equal footing. Even famous celebrities and public figures have to wear them. The one where I forgot her name. I know from experience how embarrassing it can be to forget the name of someone who has just introduced themselves. Some years ago, my then girlfriend and I attended a large corporate event in the Soho neighborhood of Manhattan. When we arrived, we bumped into a woman who I'd met a few times before. I knew she ran a successful business in New York City with dozens of employees and Fortune 100 customers. But I blanked on her name. It totally slipped my mind. As I walked up to her, she greeted me warmly and said, "Hello, Nick. It's so nice to see you again." Her arms were open. There she was, smiling, ready to give me a big hug, and I couldn't remember her name. I was mortified. Thinking fast, I introduced her to my girlfriend in the hope that she'd mention her name back. She didn't. I felt embarrassed and frustrated. Embarrassed because I'd forgotten this woman's name, and frustrated because it would have been so easy for the host to avoid this situation just by giving everyone a name tag. I could tell she knew I'd forgotten her name, and I potentially missed out on a deeper connection because of it. Forgetting someone's name is normal and has nothing to do with their level of importance. This CEO had made a huge impression when we previously met, but I just couldn't remember her name. Using name tags ensures this doesn't happen to anyone. My colleague Michael Alexis shared this advice for when you forget a name and don't have the aid of a name tag. Tackle it head on. Raise your brow and say something like, "Can I confess something? I don't remember your name. Will you please remind me?" It's normal to forget a name. It's more awkward to pretend you didn't. Being sincere in moments like this can actually help people trust you and bring you closer together. Here's an illustration. This woman's running to me with her arms out. She says, "Hi, Nick." And there's me wearing a tuxedo. I say, "Hi." And then I'm also thinking, oh God, what was her name? The caption says, "I'm so bad with names that I've written the names of first dates on the inside of my hand to not forget. I was only caught once. There was no second date." The deeper purpose of name tags. Let's get philosophical for a moment. Why are you interested in hosting parties? Probably because you want to meet new people and bring your friends together. You either are or want to be a people person. You'd like to make new connections and deepen existing relationships. Perhaps you're also interested in improving your public speaking, or you want to get better at facilitating groups for some professional ambition. Maybe you want to find a new job or recruit new clients. Cocktail parties can do all of this and more. They're places where you, your colleagues, and your friends can meet great new people. It's easier to meet people in an environment that facilitates and supports that goal. Name tags signify that there are no cliques at this party. It's important to show that guests haven't walked into a group of best friends who already know each other. They've walked into a room of potential new connections. Name tags are a badge guests wear that say they're ready to talk to other people. They're a welcoming and unifying visual signal. Name tags are a humbling feature that tie your party together and put everyone on the same level. Imagine a charity sports event where everyone is wearing the same color t-shirt, or a business conference with branded name tags and lanyards. Participants are aligned. At a structured cocktail party, name tags play the same role. When everyone wears a name tag, everyone is on the same team. Ding! Party pro tip. Name tags are especially helpful when you mix friend groups. Your guests will talk to new people and not stick to their cliques. Start using name tags at your first party. Make name tags part of your hosting strategy from the beginning. If you do this for your first party, you'll build the confidence to keep doing it later. This is especially helpful when you expand your network and start inviting people you don't know so well. Some hosts object to name tags because they find them too formal. They claim they want to keep the vibe of their party chill and believe name tags are incompatible with that. It's a bit odd to use name tags at home, they say. This is an understandable first response. Hosts, and sometimes guests, frequently resist name tags. This resistance is one of the biggest reasons I'm so vocal about using them. If you are hesitant about using name tags, push through that feeling for your first party. You'll see that it'll be worth it. Name tags are as much for you as they are for your guests. I helped a newly married couple who had just moved to Texas. They planned to host their church group using my party formula and invited every member over to their house. At first, the guests didn't understand the purpose of the name tags. After all, they already knew the names of everyone. But their hosts didn't. By agreeing to wear name tags, the guests made it easier for the hosts. The hosts could meet new people, connect names with faces, and be present in the conversations. They didn't have to get distracted trying to memorize a dozen new names. Practical matters. When your guests start to arrive, your number one priority is to warmly welcome them into your home. Give them a hug, a fist bump, or even a very animated smile. Say that you're happy they came. Your number two priority is to give them a name tag. That's how important this step is. If you see people walking around your party without name tags, pull them aside and get your naked guest a name tag as soon as possible. Don't let them move a muscle, except their name tag getting muscle. Write first names only. Don't use your guests' surnames. Their first name is faster to write and easier to read. Use large capital letters. Your priority is legibility at a distance, not penmanship. Write names in block letters with a black marker. On this page, there's an illustration of a good way and a bad way to do a name tag. The good way has the caption saying, "Do this." A first name written in big, clear letters is easy to read. The second one's written in cursive, says, "Don't do this." A full name written in cursive with a pen is harder to read. Make sure guests wear their name tags in places where they're easily visible. There's not much point in wearing name tags if other guests can't see them. For most people, the best place is in the upper chest and lower front shoulder area on their right-hand side. That's the side most of us shake with. It's the easiest place to see a name tag when you meet somebody as your body moves forward to shake hands. At a recent party, one of my guests didn't want to wear a name tag. She placed it on her pant leg, so it was hidden and inconspicuous. This friend had just started a great new job at the American Museum of Natural History. I was excited for my friends to meet her, especially because the nature of my company's work lends itself to supportive connections among museum workers. But because no one could see her name tag, she didn't look like she belonged at the party. Eventually, I asked her to leave. Just kidding. But I did ask her to move her name tag and make it more visible. You can joke about this kind of attention to detail, but it's what turns a good event into a great one. Ask the party professional. Question: what if someone is wearing a silk top or a fancy suit and they don't want to wear a name tag? Answer: quality adhesive name badges remove cleanly and are dry clean only friendly. They won't damage the fabric. See the ones I like best at www.party.pro/supplies. Do not write out name tags before the party begins. Handing out pre-written name tags feels like a conference rather than a cocktail party. And if you pre-write them, your guests can see if there are no-shows. Instead, write out name tags as your guests arrive. It shouldn't take more than 5 seconds. This way the name tags feel fun and spontaneous. Ask your guest their name if you've forgotten it, how to spell it if you're not certain, and then write their name tag. Make sure you write all the name tags. Don't let your guests write their own names. Write the names yourself. Left to their own devices, your guests may use hard-to-read writing, or worse, dodge their responsibility and not do it at all. Do. Write first names only in large capital letters with a black marker. Don't. Use fancy handwriting or ballpoint pen. After moving into a new house in Texas, Amy hosted a party with name tags. Unfortunately, she didn't make sure that her guests all wore one. Instead, she left them out on a counter and casually assigned the responsibility to a friend. One guest didn't want to give his real name. He asked the person responsible for name tags to write Superman instead. Soon, another guest saw that someone was using a joke name and asked for Batman. Ultimately, half the party's guests sported real names, a quarter gave joke names, and another quarter didn't wear name tags at all. Those who wore them as intended ended up feeling foolish. Enforce the wearing of name tags. Name tags work best when 100% of your guests are on board. Your party is only as strong as the weakest link. If one or two people stop wearing them and new arrivals see the policy as negotiable, the whole system is threatened. Make someone a new tag if they accidentally lost it. Be kind but firm. You're creating a great space for new relationships to grow. The final word on name tags. As Dale Carnegie, author of How to Win Friends and Influence People, says, a person's name is to him or her the sweetest and most important sound in any language. The easiest way to make that sweet sound happen is to use name tags. Save your guests from embarrassment. Make it easy for everyone to remember names. All it takes is a simple name tag. Chapter Checklist. Buy name tags before your party. Have twice as many as you may need. At the time of publishing, I like the Avery brand sized 2 1/3 inch by 3 3/8 inch best. Find links to the ones I currently like and my reviews of others at www.party.pro/name tags. Write your guests' first names in large capital letters when they arrive. Use a thick black marker. No exceptions. You must use name tags for everyone at your party.